I'm just gonna jump right in. I am definitely being guided to kind of today talk a little bit about another thing, kind of the purpose of why I created the channel, why I'm here. I know in the beginning, when I started my channel a few weeks ago, that was one of the first things they wanted me to, discuss, just like different gifts that I had, some part of, my journey and things like that. Again, I was just telling someone today, it really was, and I said this in a previous video, like I have just felt like my whole life has been like this game of Clue. Like, the game Clue, like the murder mystery. Like, I'm telling you, like when I tell you, like my entire life was puzzle pieces that I collected along the way. It started young, it started as a kid. I remember different experiences. Well, first of all, my first dog was a Great Dane. My grandmother, who was the only grandmother that I knew, right, on my mom's side, I was very, very close with her. I stayed there a lot when I was a kid. She had two Great Danes. My other three grandparents, obviously, I never met. They all died before I, was alive. And I lost her fairly young. I lost her when I was in fourth grade, and it was rough. When I first started journaling, you know, actually, crazy enough, my first journal was in fourth grade, and it was a Nala and Simba journal. And then I was just pulled out the ones that I have. I keep them in a safe, my journals, but one of the first ones that I remembered, it was my 8th grade year. Like, I literally have it. It's in my other room, and I would just open it, and the only card I have from my grandmother, the only things I ever have left of her was a card she had given me on one of my last birthdays, and then this little dog, a stuffed animal dog. It was like one of those, looked like a hot dog one, but it was all white, and it was a Valentine's Day thing. And then a Minnie Mouse sweatshirt that she had got me. I have all three of those items. So point being, when I was young, I started writing to my grandmother in my journal. That's who I was talking to and I just started writing. And now, come to think of it, I really didn't even realize the connection. I don't know. I know she died September 11th, and I was in 4th grade. And that's about the time that I had that journal. So I don't know if I got it before or after that, which is so weird. Like, I literally just remembered that part now. Anyways, she had two Great Danes. The one that I picked out, it was a female, and I named her Tara. Again, all this is going to add up, okay? But Tara. Then I remember briefly when I was young, like in our first house, I had found like a jewelry box right just sitting there on the side of it was like a 1-car garage. I was outside, and I was like, well, it was a white box. It was just like someone had placed it there. And so I opened it up, and it was a ring, a silver ring, and it was the Irish one, or this, I don't know if it's Celtic Irish, but the one with the heart and the hands. Okay, first of all, I'm not Irish, right? So it was so bizarre. To this day, I don't know how it got there, who put it there, or whatever. Okay. And what I do remember, though, is that, I found it, and I think my older sister took it and would wear it. But yeah, it was like the one where I think if it's placed a certain way, the hands with the heart, like it meant you were married or you weren't, or something like that. I don't know. So that image always stuck out to me. I remember that memory. My dog, Tara, whatever, right? So then there was other pivotal points in my life. Like I said, I've always had this connection with the divine, my spiritual team. I just didn't know how. I didn't know a lot of just truly how connected I was. I went through life, and I briefly kind of went through this. Like, I was going through my own things, but I've always been obsessed with learning, with knowledge, with spirituality, with past life regressions, trying to find out who I was. I always knew that there was something bigger in this life. I just had this inkling like I'm supposed to be doing something, and it's just, I can't describe this yearning my whole life, that this wasn't it. Like what life wasn't it. And it sent me on a quest, right? Just to dig, find knowledge, learn, you know. So when I tell you, again, I am a person who has put in the work, you know. I did not know that until the past couple of years, and even up until recently, like with, you know, the bloodline and clearing ancestral DNA and, you know, certain genetics, people carry certain genes, certain frequency, certain codes, right? Star seeds, light workers, whatever. I know when I activated finally, and again, here's the other thing, I never rushed any of this process, by the way. Like, I always knew as well that, you know, it would just work out. My motto literally through life was, it's like, I'll figure it out. Like, my mom can confirm that for me too. Like, oh, you always say you'll figure it out, but, well, I always do. It may not be right away, but, you know, it's like, I don't know. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. You know, and again, that's where a lot of my spiritual journey and emotional healing really came from. Me, me, and my invisible friends, the divine. Um, and I have no, you know, I think a lot of the reason why I was so just nervous to make my channel and come forward and finally come out, and again, it was all divinely planned. Like, I still had things, you know, that I was going through. But anyways, so the dog, Tara, the ring, that like Celtic Irish ring or whatever it was, you know, and then through life, just the journey, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to now, because again, I think different parts of my life, I would like to go into, especially, you know, if someone's, you know, especially light workers and starseeds who suffer from self-medicating through drinking and drugs, you know, or depression, or the severe ups and downs. Because why? Because we are so sensitive to energies. So we constantly are getting affected by people and their energies and their bullshit, right? Which again, no judgment, but it's like, you know, it doesn't make it easy living here, right? Or at least it hasn't been up until all these new frequencies are able to come in, right? It's pretty heavy, and most of us have a hunchback sometimes, you know, because it's like, I gotta learn how to, you know, because it was like the weight that we carried, you know. And then when you're not aware as a kid, you know, or teenager or whatever, about the importance of clearing out your vessel, the chakras, the energetic clearing that's needed, you know, how important it is to be in a good mental space. It's just so much you learn along the way, right? So the point being, you know, last year, after I got through a lot of, I mean, this is ongoing years of shadow work, by the way, you know, and I've stayed in the shadow self for quite a few years, to where the best way I explained it, you know, when I was going through it, you know, I was in an abusive narcissistic relationship for 8 to 10 years, you know. So let me tell you, when I tell you I've been through so much shit, I have. The way that I, you know, the family I chose to come into, you know, you know, and it wasn't all bad there either. And I still love my family. It's just certain things, you know, had to occur, right, for me to learn and clear up karmic, you know, patterns and lessons, and for me to get strong enough. So I'm not a person that's going to ever sit here and claim that you should never talk to your family again, or you should hold any kind of grudge or anything like that, because I truly don't. You know, I wish that, you know, my family finds peace. My parents, they deserve it, you know. I chose okay? My family. I chose who my parents were going to be, just like everyone on this planet chose who, you know, whose family that they were going to be into, who their mom and dad was, the lessons that they wanted. You know, sometimes we play a role, right, in life. Now, you're always going to, in a video I mentioned, like, put your teaching cap on now. We are students and teachers to each other on a daily basis. Now, sometimes, you know, the teacher isn't always necessarily going to be a positive teacher. Because why? Because you need that negative, right? You need those experiences in order for you to have a breakthrough, right? So instead of looking at somebody in a negative kind of light, you have to understand too that that hard lesson was being taught by them. Because like I said before, when you get back up to we'll call it the spiritual realm, we're all souls and beings of light and pure love, right? We're all in the same. So, you know, you gotta realize that the people in your life here that come to play, you know, their role, there's no point in holding a grudge on them, because at the end of the day, light needs dark just as dark needs light. You know, in order to, you know, down here, to have that duality, to be able to learn and stuff like that. So anyways, I just wanted to make a point about that, you know. Even in my family structure, I know, well, I know that I hold no grudge. I genuinely, you know, want everyone to heal and find peace and happiness, because that's the point, if that's one of your missions that you came in to do, you know. So, okay, fast forward. Yeah, I went through it, okay? And just because I don't go into detail about it right now doesn't mean that it wasn't there. And I really don't have anything to prove to anyone, to be completely honest. I'm just sharing these things because I am guided to. And, you know, with what happened today, again, I'll show you in a second, but this is the second time now I'm being nudged to talk about more of kind of why I'm here. And especially because, you know, I just found another big piece to the puzzle here. Okay, so last year, at the end of October 2022, I took a trip to Glastonbury to do a spiritual retreat. I was out there. It was amazing. I don't know, I was being called. And then Stonehenge, you know, I remember that morning that I was supposed to get my flight. Let me tell you something. When the divine wants you to do something and you're supposed to be somewhere, I call it cock blocking. Okay, they will cock block you until you do it. Okay, so I'm waking up in the morning and I had tried all night. Now Glastonbury is like 2 hours and some change outside of London, so it's a long drive. Now I got an Uber from London to go and drive and take me out to, you know, Glastonbury. So I thought that I could just get an Uber, right, real easy. That was not the case. Okay, I was supposed to leave on the 17th. Well, that morning I missed my flight on, what was it? I think I came back on, I got back, or no, the 16th. I have it in my phone. To be honest, yeah, what the heck? Okay, there's my phone. Give me 1 second. Okay, so let's see. I'm like such a dork, like I write down everything. Again, it's just part of my journaling and writing. I like to date things so I can look back. It's fun for me. So yeah, I was out there from the 13th to the 16th. I was supposed to leave the 17th. I did not make it. I remember being in the shower that morning, okay? And I'm having a conversation with my team. Actually, they were having one with me. They kept telepathically communicating to me that I need to go to Stonehenge. And I said, I'm literally having, like, not an argument, but a discussion in the shower in my head. I'm like, I'm not going. I can't go. I'm gonna, like, I can't even get out of here. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, this is crazy. Now I have to, like, I just missed my flight because even the bus, like, the bus there's no way I would have made it. Like, I was relying on this Uber. So I'm just like, this is too much. Like, no. Okay, so picture this. I'm literally in in the shower. I met this really cool guy out there who, because I did an Airbnb, and the irony too, it's just like he was so on the same kind of vibe, and it was just so cool. But anyways, so yeah, so I was determined. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm taking this bus, and I am going to the airport. Okay, I'm just gonna sit there. Well, by magic, okay, one of the girls that I was met at this retreat randomly called me. Okay, now because she lived out in the UK. I mean, I think she only lived like an hour or so away from where the retreat was, so she just drove back and forth every day. Randomly calls me as I'm walking down the streets of Glastonbury with my suitcase. And I told her the situation. She's like, oh my God, like, no, listen, go to the bus station, stay there, wait for me. I'll come back, like, it's only 40 minutes away, and I will come pick you up, and and maybe, I can take you to Stonehenge. And, she was like, and, maybe from there, whatever, we'll figure it out. She's like, because, she knew, like, I had wanted to go there the whole time, but I was like, I just wasn't able to go. So I was like, oh my God, like, right? So I waited, she picked me up, we drove right to Stonehenge, okay? Now, again, I was out there towards the end of October. I have pictures of when me and her went out there, right? It was a bright, sunny day. Okay, now we didn't go into where you could get closer because she's like, I know, like, right where you can go. And it's outside of it, so we didn't have to pay for tickets. Like, but it was still just as close. So as I'm out there, I'm just taking pictures, and she went and she had to go do something real quick, like she was on the phone or something. And so I started taking these random pictures. And let me tell you, what I caught on camera, me and her, it was insane. It was insane. It was a blue orb. Okay, but first of all, as a matter of fact, I'm actually going to post the pictures. I don't know if I can do it as far as in the comments thing. Like if I can upload it that way, but I have them right here. Okay, so this is what it looked like. Okay, let me see if you guys can see. So see how Stonehenge is behind us, right? It was bright, clear, sunny day. Well, one of my pictures captured, well, actually a couple of them, okay? Oh shoot, you're not gonna be able to see in this light. Okay, but see how the sky, there's that bright like thing that opened, okay? Now let me zoom. Again, I'll post these. See that blue orb, I circled it, if you can kind of course the reflection on this, but anyways, okay, so then there's that. So this bright portal-y thing, okay, because again, the other picture shows that was not there. Even my friend, she was like, oh my God, can you send me that picture? Like, what the heck? So we saw that there was this blue orb that it shows. It's the process of it coming down, okay. Again, I have another one here, it's coming down, and then it travels towards me. And then, oh, here's a better one of it right here. Okay, see, look at it. You see that blue dot? But I can show you the picture as I'm taking these pictures. You can see it, like this thing just came out of nowhere and it came down and it was traveling from that like portal thingy or whatever. But again, this wasn't visible to anyone because everyone's just standing there, and it just all happened so fast. So like the weird thing was, it wasn't like anyone was looking in the sky like, oh my God, like what is that, right? So anyways, so yeah, clearly, again, you can see it's a blue orb, okay? Then it travels towards where, me and her are. And hold on, so let me get this picture right here. Down at the bottom, the coloring, you see that? There's like a little dot, but then the blue line around me. And again, the sky's back to that like bright, clear, whatever. But again, I can post these pictures, okay? So whatever. So I just, at first, I really didn't think anything of it besides, holy shit, that was so cool. Like, me and her were talking, and then she ends up just taking me to a different airport. So I didn't go to the original airport that I was, and I ended up having to wait a whole 24 hours at the airport before I could get a new flight. It was just a hot mess. But point being, there was a reason that I had to be there. And I think this chick knew. Because she also, is into, that kind of stuff and light language. And I really didn't know what light language truly really was. Now, listen, when I channel, I was showing her, she's like, oh my God, I think that's light language, that you were like these symbols that I was doing randomly sometimes. Like, when I have beings that come to me, I actually draw them out, or I allow them, because I do automatic writing, to kind of guide me. I had my dragon, but now not my bonded dragon. This was my water guardian dragon. I got his name. He showed me what he looked like. Actually, you should see, and it was insane, the whole process of how this was. And then I asked him to show me the body. So then it was like the body. So I am allowed to say his name, because I think I've already said it, because I didn't know. I found out that you probably shouldn't, especially with your bonded dragon's name, give your bonded dragon's name out, because that is the one closest to you. But my water garden dragon, his name is Trimetrius. So he's so cool, by the way. So anyways, so fast forward to that last year. Again, I didn't know the significance. Again, going back to the ring, the Irish Celtic ring. Again, my dog's name, first dog ever, Tara. Okay. So then I randomly, started doing, again, I'm always guided. So on November 23rd of this year, an early morning of the 24th, right around Thanksgiving, I was guided to do a meditation to ignite my master blueprint. What came to me during this meditation, which again, I had no idea, but they were lions. A big male lion and some female lions. Now, I've had interactions with lions before, okay? But I can tell you that I did not know much about Lyra or Lyrans, okay? For real. But then when that happens, I saw something else and I started reading, and it was like, oh my God, like that was it. Once I activated, or ignited it again or whatever, it led me to my soul group, my soul star, my soul planet. And then it all started making sense, because these are the questions I wanted to know. Like, where do I come from? Who I was in a past life. I know I've lived a shit ton of lives, because at one point during one of my activations, literally, I was just laying on my bed one day, and again, I had my eyes closed and a portal opened up. And this was around Lionsgate portal last year, okay? Where it was this, and I physically saw, it was like looking into different dimensions or something, but there was 12 of them, 12 portals. Again, found out what that was. That's all of the entire chakras being opened, right? Because we don't just have 7. You have a knee chakra, you have an ankle chakra, you have a whatever, okay? But there's 12 portals. And again, this is all part of the, spiritual awakening or reawakening, because I have been around my soul. And again, this has nothing to do with, people thinking someone's better than somebody else. No, it's just, I'm really here for a reason, and I really do want to help people. But my soul is so old. It's almost somewhat older than the planet Earth itself, because I've had meditations too when I was doing clearing outs of Lemuria, okay? I have it all written down. I journal every time. I was given symbols. I came from the stars, and I chose to stay and help in Lemuria as well. Then I did some clearing out in Atlantis just recently, and that one wasn't so fun. That was not a fun time. I was a female in that lifetime, and again, I was murdered on that and something, taken advantage of, things like that. I don't really want to get into it. It's not a big deal. It was so long ago. But hey, there was a little bit of healing needed from that. And then I also was a man in one of those lifetimes as well, because he showed me his life, which was me, but it was him. And that was so cool too. Like, you know, he was a carpenter, and I don't know, you know, I think of it as a we thing, but just the life that he lived. And then, like, you know, it's very, it was so cool. But anyways, point being, so then I found that out. Okay, so that was a big one. So I was like, oh my God, like, I finally found my soul group, my, you know, like, whatever, and all the stories started making sense, and all these, why I kept getting all these images and battles and wars and just being brutally murdered and stabbed through my heart. I went into this before on, you know, my videos that I posted early, like about, you know, past lives, or my Lyran hit, I don't know, I labeled it, but like there's in two of them different things that like I remember. So then that happened, and then now fast forward to me finding a lady on YouTube who is absolutely amazing. I really had not heard of Magenta Pixie, and when I found, I've only listened to a few videos so far, again, because guided to, nothing is coincidental. So the videos that popped up for me were for me to see, just like whoever's videos, it all works like that, if you know, like the divine. So I was meant to see that at the time that I needed to see it. And she started talking about the diamond consciousness, light body. Okay. And the Christed, what was it? The return of the Christed twin flames of Stargate, England. Now, that portal that she talks about in that video, the dates that she talks about in that video, I was there. When I was younger, all the things, the Terra, the ring, right? Me and my brother, I still do to this day. We talk like this sometimes, you know, like when I was growing up, we always used to have this like little accent, like a London type, like, oh, what's up today, mate? Yeah, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't know, just that whole London, And so my friend from the UK, like, I even, you know, when I was messaging her back, I would kind of talk like that once in a while as a joke. I was like, oh, because I love it, you know, I love that accent. But it all makes sense. So she talks about the return of the Christed twin flames of Stargate, England. Who she channels with is the white-winged collective consciousness of 9. And then when I came across the diamond light grid workers, the diamond consciousness, well, I know for a fact that is what I'm here to do. And the only reason I'm sharing this is because the other day when I did a video, I was wearing like a brown sweater and there was little like diamonds on it. A random diamond from that shirt I was wearing was just right here on my table. Okay, didn't even know it fell off. Then this morning, I was wearing this necklace, you know, it was in one of my videos. I woke up this morning randomly in bed as I'm journaling, you know, doing my meditations, and my entire silver necklace broke, because all of a sudden I felt something. I was like, what is down my shirt right now? You know, I'm sitting on my bed and I was like, what? I can't even tell you how this just ripped. Like, literally, I was just sitting there. It just ripped off and broke my necklace. And then the little diamond thing, okay? So I'm like, that's the message that they want me to share. Now, again, it also has to do with the new children that have come into the earth recently as well, okay? But I would like to share, this was one of my old journals. When did I start this one? This is just kind of where I write you know, all the work. So I started this one on 6/16/21. But again, I have a ton of these, okay? I mean, I literally will just channel different things. I used to do readings for myself daily to see what messages or what areas I need to work on, what kind of energy that just constantly talking to my guys, right? So when she started talking, now this was the magenta pixie, started talking about those two things, you know, the Christed twin flames of the Stargate England portal, and then the diamond consciousness light, and the, you know, the diamond light ray workers or diamond light grid workers, right? So I remember, oh look, this card just flipped over, channeling number 3. That's so funny. Yeah, see, again, I only do what I'm guided to do, okay? Like, I really do. I will make sure everything is okay before I just say something. Anyways, so I had wrote this on 1/2/22 of last year. This was one of the meditations that I talked about doing where, you know, it was a mirror one, okay, with Merlin, the mirror, whatever, right? And how I saw, and this actually, it's an ego sublimation, okay, like the vanishing mirror, but I actually saw, it was crazy. But the weird thing was, I wrote here, ring on my finger broke off. Again, just like today, the necklace broke off, but the ring, right, had a little, it was a diamond. It was a geometrical diamond, okay? Literally, it was and I think I got it at like Five Below, like where you can pull those little rings on you, they're cute, and it was like a little diamond one. I love diamonds. You know, I have, in my dragonfly body, I have a diamond instead. My B, right? I keep doing the wrong arm. But my B, like for my tattoo guy, I told him I want the body of the bee to be a diamond. And then I want the dragonfly to be the same thing. So like diamonds, my crow has a diamond. And guess whose idea that was? That was my daughter's idea. You know, I was like, what should the crow like be carrying? And she's like, a diamond. And she was like 4, you know, because this is old. I still gotta get, you know, I have all the ideas I want to do for this side of my sleep. But anyway, I'm definitely, once I get more money coming in with my job and stuff like that, I'm definitely gonna be finishing with more, you know, geometric, you know, stuff and sacred geometry and things like that, because I love it. But anyways, back to the point. So I was wearing a diamond ring on my finger, okay, and it literally broke off. So today, for the necklace and the little diamond thing, I'm like, okay, they really want me to talk about this. But anyways, so with that, as it all happened, right before the meditation said, look into the mirror, because I had no idea why a big mirror was showing up. Like physically, as I'm doing this meditation, it was a actual mirror I was seeing, okay? It just focused, it was like a box. Literally the best way to explain this was, where's it at here? Right there. That's how the image looked, but it was just the eyes, okay? On my body, there was a tattoo, and it was like angel wings, but it was like on the stomach, right? But there was like just wings, the tattoos, the eyes, you know? Okay, so anyways, the eyes went from black and white to color. Literally, you know, in that box, all I saw was eyes, but then the whole scene turned to color. I remember having, being shown, my higher self, I guess, or whatever. She had darker hair though at that time, came to me, and it was more that native type of like warrior woman, like for real. She had a freaking pet crow with her, which is so amazing. And then I was like, oh my god, that's why I love crows and ravens. Like weird, right? Anyways, but yeah. Now I don't know why if like spirit showed me in the way of a tattoo, because I love tattoos, but I saw like on the stomach there were angel wings, and then the letter M, and it was like I'm the one, or I'm the one, something like that. And then when I was trying to draw it out, you know, it said self-love, my dear angel, self-love. So anyways, I didn't know what that meant, but I had a headband around my head. It was a beautiful land. Like I said, almost native-ish, but still me. Female, had a crow with me. Strong, peaceful, love, kind, self-respect, accomplished. She had the same smile and smirk as me too. And her eyes, I recognized her eyes that looked just like mine. So that was crazy. But yeah, it's just crazy. So that's another one. So I thought that was pretty cool, because then it's all making sense now with the wings, right? Like the diamond light. Anyways, I had channeled this 1922 completion. Actually, I put 333. Now sometimes I channel things and like a year prior to it actually happening. That's why I like to look back, because it is so crazy. Like if I open a page and I look back, I'm like, oh my God, it's like clues for me to be like, holy crap, like this is what this meant. Because as I write these things, I do not know what they mean most of the time. Okay. So 333 was what, the main thing was. This was written on 1922. Completion, heaven on earth, calling in musical spiritual gifts. Red like the roses, grid lines, doorway, gate open for you. Big commitment, must be ready to fully embrace. Asphalt, no cracks in the foundation. Divine talents, fire, passion, guiding creative pursuits, call on us. Guidance, new ideas. Music is key. What was hidden will now be seen. Feel it within, coming to fruition. Light, let it guide you. And then I had spiritual service. Sent here to connect with the world on a mass level. Vessel channel straight from divine. Keep working on opening up to it one step at a time. Intense energy. Your body will need lots of rest, water, sleep daily, month. Now this was a channel message that they gave to me. And I thought this was really cool to share. Because again, part of why I was here was for this kind of shadow work too. But okay. Anyways, and balance, right? Okay. So it says, embrace. Thank your shadow self for all they have done for you this far. Learn to work with it, not reject it. Both are needed. Neither are wrong or right. That is your balance. Learning when to stand up or stand down. When to take action, when to wait. Defend yourself, protect yourself. Speaking your authentic truth with no shame. When to give and when to receive. Learn to make those tough decisions to cut people out. Remember, we are here to raise the consciousness, but not to allow ourselves to be taken advantage of. Sometimes in cases like empaths, their part is learning to and when to unleash the shadow side on, or when to and when not to unleash the shadow side on others who continue to take advantage. It's a part of this experience, my dear. We love you. Now see, that's how normally my guides and the consciousness I work with as well speak to me. That's why the one I shared, it was kind of funny. That's why I was like, when Joe Fiala wanted me to put like with love, it's like, that's not normally how we talk over here. It's just like, whatever, we love you, blah, blah, blah. All that good stuff. But so yeah, just about balance, like, because again, a lot of us, who are very sensitive have a really hard time cutting people out, right? We feel guilty, we feel bad, but we think we're not allowed to work with our shadow side, right? Like, oh, it's a bad thing, like we shouldn't be doing that. We have a shadow side for a reason, folks. Okay, we do. So you're allowed, to respectfully work out of that, right? You're allowed to defend yourself, if people are trying to take advantage of you and just be completely disrespectful, but there's a way to do it, Don't stoop to the level of like just immaturity, right? No, but it's like, I'm not tolerating bullshit, So for the people who, have been watching my videos and just really connect with it and are genuine and, really just are supportive, I truly appreciate that, and I know that I'm not going to be liked by everybody because, again, what have we been talking about? Certain light, the higher frequency you are, the higher light you carry, the more shadows are casted, right? Love that dude, by the way. Anyways, he was on YouTube and I watched that video. It just made sense, like I said, but it is true. The more energy and higher frequency that you carry, You're going to intimidate people. You're going to trigger them just by you walking and breathing, just by your face, your presence, your personality, your just you being you. And that's something I am prepared to see, to hear, to not give a shit about at the end of the day. Because you know what? This ain't nothing new for me over here. I know who I am. I'm a very kind person. I'm just love, all love over here. But again, point being, there is a balance. We have both dark and light when we, So, hey, I just choose not to work out of mine because I know there's no point to it. And it doesn't make me feel good having to put other people down. That's not who I am. As a matter of fact, I am all about, you know, motivating people in a positive way. So then there's that. So anyways, so I thought that was super cool because it was like, oh my God. And now fast forward to the diamond light consciousness. Yeah, I have so much other things like for real that I just, oh my God, I can't wait to start sharing because like it is all about like, there's certain things that I am told that like, no, it's kind of more personal. Like this is meant for you. Not everybody is on, certain paths and certain way. And as you guys would know too, like there's certain things that your team probably tells you the same thing. Like, no, that's kind of personal. Like, or you're just not straight up not allowed to share it pretty much. That comes with, and my phone just beeped twice. It vibrated. So yeah, confirmation. Probably you guys probably didn't hear that. But yeah, my phone's here and it just, something just dinged and went off. But yeah, sometimes you really are just not allowed, you know, to discuss certain things. So anyways, so basically I am, yes, most certainly a diamond light grid worker. A little bit about that, and again, this was from her video, so if you guys are interested in, learning more about that too, because you as well feel like you're called onto that path. So what it is definitely, light workers, star seeds that were already carrying the genetics, okay, and the potential for the diamond light consciousness to be activated already, okay, because they had previous multiple incarnations, okay. So what she had said about that, again, because you're able to harness the frequencies, the codes, the energies, okay, because it's whatever, you were born with it. It's the once the potential is activated due to their dedicated spiritual work of heart opening, clearing of dense old belief patterns, working with shadow self, and natural acceptance and surrender to the source frequency, love and light fields, and polarization into service to others frequency. It's activated there. And like I was just so weirdly saying yesterday, everyone has the potential to be, take the spiritual journey, to raise your vibration, right? My main goal, my whole life, I always knew the word acceptance, like I have shown before, is tattooed on me. The word free, because that's what I was trying to do. Even on a subconscious level, I knew that. The word acceptance has haunted me my entire life. Like acceptance, and I didn't understand why, like for real. But then free. Free to me is just like freeing my soul. And I briefly talked about this too. Any little bits that were left bounded here in the karmic grid line. And like I said, some of us are here to free ourselves and that soul that has been bound to the karmic grid line. Cleaning up the last little bits, because after that, karma free for this planet. I'm karma free. That was another thing. I just knew that I was always focused on past lives in the past and what happened in the past. I remember my mom used to be like, why do you worry so much about the past? Like you should be worrying about the future. I'm like, because I need to know. Again, I always just, it was like a freaking game of Clue my whole life. But anyway, so with the diamond light grid workers, okay, so if you even think that that's something that resonates with you, Yes, you would be very dedicated to your spiritual path. You probably are someone who is here to clear out your ancestral DNA. Um, a major thing you would have had to deal with your whole life is your shadow self and your lessons and healing them, because you would not be able to carry diamond light frequency, right? Until you have the initiation and the divine thinks that you are capable and ready, right, to fully carry it. Because why? Because you've passed test, your work has been completed as far as certain aspects needed of your shadow work. And you also, again, like she said, the natural acceptance and surrender to source frequency. Because again, I had just mentioned this earlier, I was never really big into the whole we thing. Like I didn't really know what the collective consciousness really meant and how really important it was. I have always been focused on my journey and my journey strictly, just trying to better myself, right? But once I really realized that we are all in this together and how important it is, and then once these steps were taking place throughout my life that I had to hit, you know, um, certain pivotal points. I'm sorry, my video might run out. It says 46 minutes. Oh my God, it's been 46 minutes already. Anyways, there is like an initiation to these higher frequencies. Like, yes, like, um, anyone who holds frequencies, okay, above third dimensional can communicate with color rays, which are individualized living consciousness structures and can be communicated with, right? Um, After that comes Diamond Ray is one of the little bit kind of higher ones, as well as gold, silver, platinum, pure white, light ray. But again, she said not one comes before the other. Um, you know, so I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but the way obviously she channels it straight from there as well, and it's just insane. So if you're interested in that, you have to check her out. But she just talks about this kind of stuff and how it really is like, living conscious structures. And, you have to hold like the certain crystal frequency in the highest geometric presentation. And, those of us who had the mission, right, to hold the love and light frequency, you know, um, part of what we're doing is being able to, we're opening crystalline gateways. Um, serve as a gateway for diamond light. A lot of diamond light children are born in the year of 2013. Again, like she was saying, though, nothing came before it, cause and effect. So both are needed here. So again, no one's trying to say that, oh, diamond or gold or platinum rays are better than the color. No, you need both, right? So let's just not get that twisted, because again, whatever. But basically, right, so all the crystal children who are coming in around that time, they also carry in their bloodline the genetics in their body for the potential for the potential to activate their diamond light frequency consciousness, whatever. Okay, so again, um, you know it's like we all are working hand in hand here. Sorry, I keep looking at my thing because it still keeps saying my storage is low, and like I don't want the video to cut off. That would be super annoying. So maybe I will just end this one here a little bit. But basically, for us adults who came in, we all have our own spiritual mission. Certain grid workers, light workers, whatever you want to call it, we each have our own soul mission, okay?